Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Yeah, and I don't have, I'm concerned you're not hearing me. God damn it. I think I'm going in and out already. It's buffering on my screen. I'm buffering. I'm being told I have poor quality, and I got a feeling you're not there. I mean, you might be there, but you're not hearing me. So, if you're hearing me, let me know. God damn it. I can't take this anymore. This isn't the way it should be. Yeah. My YouTube stream is down and out. So I'm assuming you're not hearing me. Let me know. I'm sick and tired of beginning like this. It's embarrassing. Are you hearing me now? Just for a second, because it's going in and out. I step out. God damn it. I don't know what I can do. I've learned enough to know that if that circle's going round, that ain't good. And it's going round. Right atop my smiling face. So I'm betting that you can't hear a word I'm saying. What is the point of this? Okay, guys. I just don't know what to do. Hang it up. If you're there, I'm trying. It keeps dropping out. I've been actually here since, there it goes again. Son of a bitch. All right. Hey, if anybody's there, I'm sorry, because this looks like it ain't gonna fly today. It's just I'm on for 2 seconds and then it drops out. The buffering thingamajig goes round, and if you're even hearing every 10th word I've said, I don't even know if the chat's working. So if you can even tell me, I'm sorry. Uneffin' believable. I'm being told my connection is poor, and it's clear that it is because the buffering signal keeps coming on, and I'm assuming, from what I can tell right now, that I am on, but I won't be on for long if it continues to do what it's been doing since I signed on. It just keeps going out. So in as much as I see some of you in chat, but I don't know if you're able to, I'm assuming you can hear me right now, although I know there is a bit of a lag. And this is the longest it seems to have maintained since I've been on. It's literally been out more than it's been on. So this is a little bit of a sign that maybe you can be hearing me. And I'm just letting you know that it would be good to just get a thumbs up from you that, okay, that I'm there. I'm here because I'm staring at this damn thing in front of me. It's right over, it's a picture of myself. It's god awful to have to look at. I'm looking at my smiling self looking back at me with the word poor over it, meaning that YouTube is very unhappy with the link that I've created. I hear that you're there now. Thank you. Thank you. I did start on time, believe it or not, but I was mostly in and out, and I suspect but this is the longest it seems to have retained its connection. So let's let's forge ahead, fingers crossed. And I have to tell you, this could be as much about my homes. Who the hell knows? Shut up, Cullen. No, but you don't know anything. I'm talking to myself here now. I don't understand any of it. But good to see you there. Hi. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you're looking forward to the longer weekend ahead of you. God knows I am. And hope you will. It's buffering again. Son of a bitch, it's starting to do that buffer thing on my end. So guys, let me just get, it seems like since last we spoke, so many big, huge things have happened, but that's always the case. I think the biggest are the biggest stories. I mean, the ones in order of their appearance in our lives was the video, which I had spoken of, I think, of the Democratic veterans video, just letting the current members of the Military and Intelligence Committee know that actually it was their duty to disobey illegal orders, and that just making that clear to them. And then, of course, Trump's crazed response, not just Trump's, a whole bunch of MAGA crowds' response, and of course then the ensuing death threats and upending of the lives of those congressional members who participated in the video. So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about two big surprises this weekend. That was no surprise that Trump's reaction to the video, but the two surprises, and I defy any of you to say you weren't surprised at either, is Marjorie Taylor Greene saying she's gone, and that ridiculous bromance that we witnessed with Donald J. Trump and Zoran Mamdani. Good God in heaven. I think that's the one that was most gobsmacking. And I happened to catch it live and was so in such a state of bemusement and disbelief. Why are you saying check my email? Okay. Heard you were asking if we could, then buffering, not back as you speak of your smiling face. Okay, guys, I'm just going to keep going because I see you've all emailed me. I've also seen you in chat, and I'm just going to keep going here. But the buffering thing is every once in a while coming in for a second or two on my screen. So, okay, I'll just look until I go totally crash and burn. I'll just keep going. So, anyway, so those are the things I wanted to cover, along with some other things here and there. Oh God. And I actually see here, it's on my end, it's buffering again. I also watched. Oh, I see you guys. So look, I'm ahead of you by a few seconds, and all I can tell you is it just keeps popping in again. So I don't know what I can do. I'm out again. I'm out. Fucking duck. This is how the hell am I supposed to do a show and keep my Oh. I was just screaming, how the hell am I supposed to do a show and keep my focus on what I'm saying when that goddamn thing starts spinning around? And then I looked over and saw that Ruth had emailed me, everything is fine except you're complaining. Okay. I guess unless it totally crashes, I'm going to stop talking about every time it starts to buffer, and I'll just try to do the show. Okay? That's what I'll do, or try to. So anyway, the most extraordinary thing was the that Trump with Mom Donnie. No one would have predicted that. No one. And wow, does that tell you a whole bunch of stuff? And the stuff it tells me is Mom Donnie is an incredibly charming, charismatic character. I mean, he clearly charmed the pants off Trump. He's that smooth. And I also thought, see, I'm stopping because it's buffering. It's buffering a long time, guys. Why should I keep talking when I know you're not going to hear it? Okay, I said I. So quite clearly, Trump's tortured, mucked up psyche, we have come, unfortunately, to know pretty well. And so it didn't take long to figure that one of the things that Trump loved about this guy is just the look of him, the assuredness of him, the obvious skill of him and charisma of him. And Trump, looking at him, was envious. He wanted to be him. He even went so far as to say he wanted to be mayor of New York. He was just in a state of thrall. And it was so bizarre. What an extraordinarily weak human being he is. When he sees somebody like Mom Donnie, all he sees is winner. Extraordinary winner. And then he sees himself. He sees, this is a young guy who did exactly what I did. He came out of nowhere. And did what nobody thought he could do. So he totally, looking at that handsome, young, charismatic man, Trump saw himself. And we know he loves himself. So I think Trump desperately would love to, trade places with Mom Donnie. But it was just mind blowing. Mind blowing. Oh, I'm totally down. I'm totally down. Okay. Hey guys, if you've, I'm gonna stop. You don't know it yet, but there's more and longer periods when I'm just off. It is literally shutting down on me. I can't do the show this way. I just can't. This is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I'll tell you what. I'll try again tomorrow. But I can't do this. I can't do it. Damn it. Because it's not fair to you. Why should you be listening to this bullshit? I'm serious. I mean, it's insane. I start a thought and then I get, 4 paragraphs in and I'm blown up. And then I don't know where, to pick back up. For me, this is beyond maddening. Beyond maddening. If you're still there, just one thing I wanted to throw in here, which I found really interesting, is that when Mom Donnie came to the White House, he came with 3 aides of his who have been with him throughout this amazing time in his life. And he was the oldest of the quartet. One was also 34 years old. But so this brilliant new politician was 34. One of his aides was 34, and the other 2 were in their 20s. Think of that. The difference in age. And that had to have an impact. I mean, these people could have been Trump's grandchildren. They were young, and they were winners, and they exuded all the strength and wondrousness of the young. No wonder Trump wanted to see himself in them, in him. So it's just astonishing. I mean, given what they each had said about the other, given the fact that Trump, who is so easily offended and becomes enraged at the slightest seeming offense, would say to Mom Donnie, "Go ahead. You can say you called me a fascist. Go ahead." He says, tapping his arm solicitously. That was the other thing. The physicality of Trump with Mom Donnie was mind-blowing. Touching him all the time. It was just such a window into this guy's tortured psyche. I mean, politically, I don't know. I kept thinking too, wouldn't you have liked to have been like standing like alongside Stephen Miller or something watching this? Because if you think your head was exploding when you saw this love fest, I can't even begin to imagine what the Republicans and those around Trump did and what they must have said to him. Okay. Guys, I guess I just said I was closing up, and now I'm on a stretch here where things are okay. I guess I'll just keep going for a while. I don't know what the fuck to do. I mean, Trump, I'm not telling you anything I'm sure that you didn't think of or heard yourself, but wow. I mean, this was such extraordinary good news for the city of New York that I'm sure has been fearful, given Trump's threats of what they were about to endure. But and in fact, all that might happen because we're talking about Trump here. I mean, he turns on a dime. But at the moment, wow, that was. Can you imagine? I'm just trying to think of when Mom Donnie and his 3 aides finally were by themselves again, when they got in their car and were driving away. Can you imagine the hooting and hollering and backslapping? Just, I can't even. Oh, I'd love to have heard it or seen it. But what a triumph. And it tells all of us that Mom Donnie is somebody to, yeah, because he pulled a friggin' rabbit out of a hat right in front of our eyes. The other thing I want to say, and I've noticed and I've always really hated, is I don't recall other presidents having these press events where they are seated at their desk and everybody else has to stand. Nobody else gets to sit down. Everyone else has to stand. And in fact, that where the danger of something like that was shown at that the pharmaceutical meeting, when one of the guys who had been forced to stand for God knows how long just passed out and hit the floor. So, but there was Mom Donnie behind Trump. He never showed the same effusiveness Trump did. He was solicitous with a nice Cheshire cat smile when necessary. He did not in any way engage in any of the over-the-top rhetoric or physicality that Trump had, which is to say he appeared to be, although he was standing and behind, he appeared to be in control. It was just, I mean, I was wowed by the brilliance of it on Mom Donnie's part, the surprise of seeing Trump. I have not seen Trump so happy in a long time. Have you? He was laughing. I've never heard him laugh, I don't think. He was smiling, laughing, wanting to, being affectionate. It was all this stuff that we never, ever, he doesn't exhibit. And in that regard, it was mind-blowing as well. Because Trump, became more likable. Because he was not being his menacing, bitter, vicious self. He was seeming like a normal person. mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. I don't have anything else to say about it. I probably do, but I'll hang it up. I really couldn't imagine it. Okay, so there was that. And then there's Marjorie. That was another big shock. It didn't just shock you or me. It shocked her own staff, members of the House, media. Nobody saw it coming. And I must say that in doing what she did, she also did what she is good at. And that is getting attention. What she's good at and what she craves. You know, these people that are in our lives by virtue of their public positions, and the ones that are often there because of their ability to attract attention, to attract the cameras, you do get a sense of them, and my sense of her is she's extraordinarily ambitious. She needs attention, seeks it, knows how to get it, and I thought she was an idiot given some of the things she has said. But I want to backtrack on that now because I think she's shrewd as hell and gutsy in a way. It's gutsy what she's done. She's positioning herself, obviously. She ain't going anywhere. And like I'm keeping my eye on Mom Donnie, I'm keeping my eye on Marjorie Taylor Greene, too. Because she will continue somehow to attract attention. And I suspect, and I'm hardly the only one who has said it, that she's angling for something a lot bigger. That she's angling, perhaps, to replace Trump in many ways as truly the leader of the disaffected MAGA base. And I just watching all of this, watching the big players and their, it's like, a game of chess, a game I've never known how to play. Watching all of their moves and assessing the calculations they're making is fascinating. Now, somebody like Trump could never play chess, right? Because it involves strategy and thought, and he's incapable of it. He's just he's just all immediate reaction. But somebody like Mom Donnie, I'm sure, can play chess, and I think we're watching Marjorie Taylor Greene play chess. She has put herself out there now as somebody unafraid to criticize a man all the other Republicans are terrified of criticizing, of speaking truth as she sees it to him. You think that's not going to get her points and respect in the hearts and minds of many of the people now that are worshiping at Trump's feet, because he is weakening, clearly. We can all see that. And even time weakens him every day, just a little bit more. A little bit more toward definite lame duck status, a little bit more toward being dead, a little bit more toward, appearing to be somebody who isn't long for this world. So, all of that. And far be it from me to, God damn it, it's buffering again, and I don't want to lose this thought. But I happened to see something that Steve Bannon said about, let me get it here, that Bannon said about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And if I could find it, I'll share it with you, because I do think of him as somebody who's smart about this stuff. And I was pleased to see that his assessment dovetailed with mine, and in regard to what she's up to and what she's doing. And he said, Bannon said, look, she had her committee assignments pulled by Pelosi in her first term and still rose to be a national figure. He's saying this woman, Greene, doesn't need the usual positions to figure out how to be the center of attention. And he went on to say, we haven't seen or heard the last of MTG. Well, I would argue that that is a serious understatement. She is definitely going to be around for some time. Yeah, I see that Brooke is saying we have no idea what was said between Mom Donnie and Trump when they met privately, the longer part of their time together. And that's true. And Trump not allowing cameras into that. It's not what he did with Zelensky. Trump didn't want cameras. And I bet Mom Donnie was thrilled there weren't cameras, because it allowed, who knows, it allowed him to say maybe some things that wouldn't have been well received by his supporters, and certainly Trump in the same case. They were able to, ply their political skills out of our eye range. Out of our vision, I think is the word I was looking for. But I do want to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene, in leaving, did so strongly that it was impressive. And the line she had that I thought would reverberate with women all over and all across the political spectrum is, she said, in part she was leaving because I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. Whoa, that to me, she's right, because that is the calculation that all the other Republicans who are so fearful of him are making, all those guys. They're being battered wives, hoping somehow things get better. So, something amazing. So she's going to be gone January 5th. Interestingly, that date is interesting because, as some have pointed out, her lifetime incredibly generous pension from we, the people, kicks in 2 days prior. She wouldn't have it. I guess she gets some, but no, she's getting the whole wondrous thing. So she hung in till she got it all, and then she did her won't be a battered wife thing. And it's also been pointed out, and I'm slightly hesitating to pass it on, simply because I haven't seen how this information was gleaned, but it, again, would not be surprising if it is true. When she first entered Congress, which just, 5 years ago, she had a net worth of $700,000. After 5 years in Congress, and this is what I'm seeing, she's leaving with this extraordinary pension that we will pay her the rest of her life, and with a net worth that is estimated to be $25 million. Now, we don't pay her anywhere near enough to have amassed that. And even if that is an overestimate, you can bet she's leaving with millions. And that won't play well with the people now that she is positioning herself to lead. Because if she becomes rich, one of the elites, the millionaires, the multi-millionaires, then she loses credibility. Maybe. I don't know. But wow. Wow. Where did I see a quote from Harry Truman? How quaint it seems. Let me find it for you. This is the way we used to look at such stuff. If you had told Harry Truman, so there's this congresswoman, she came in with 700,000 to her name, and she's leaving 5 years later with 25 mil, and his quote is, "Show me a man that gets rich by being a politician, and I'll show you a crook." Yeah. Well, yeah. I watched quite a bit of Dick Cheney's funeral. I hadn't intended to watch quite a bit of Dick Cheney's funeral, but I happened upon it, and happened upon it at a very well, I was so moved. There was a young girl who I assumed was a granddaughter, and she was, speaking about her grandfather. And it was so sweet and so moving, and had nothing to do with the public man, this powerful man that we all know as Dick Cheney, but she was talking about this other guy who she knew as her grandfather. And I was so struck by the difference in this grandfather guy who sounded just wonderful. Wonderful. And then his other grandchildren spoke, one after the other, and they were so moving. And then it became clear that the one boy and two young women that I was listening to, who were mourning their grandfather, were Liz Cheney's children. And I'd never thought of Liz Cheney as a mother. I never had. I was shocked to find out. And there was her husband. I never imagined even a husband. It's odd how we think of these public people. We don't often, I'll just speak for myself, in this case, clearly never gave Cheney or his daughter a moment's thought in terms of being a fellow human, a person capable of love and loss. And that is what we do to people in the public eye. We don't look at them as fully human. It's why we can so easily characterize them in this kind of binary way. They're either, with us or against us. We either love them or we hate them. But I appreciated being reminded of the fact that this man, whose public career created, to my mind, so much suffering and death, could still, it's true. What am I thinking? Yeah. It's so weird. The complexity of a human being. To see him eulogized was to have more difficulty thinking of him as evil. I came away thinking of him as just somebody who was mistaken, had misjudged, had been led astray with the information he had and his capacity to act on his assumptions. I don't know. I must say, it blew me away and resulted in a lot of troubling sort of questions in my own head about how easily we don't give people, don't allow them their complexity, I guess. Dick Cheney did, before his death, as did his daughter, because of his daughter, gained a measure of respect from me in standing up for her and in publicly standing up against his party's nominee. Because it was Dick Cheney who said, we have a duty to put country above partisanship, to defend our Constitution. And that is why I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris. And his daughter's courage in that regard is also, you cannot discount it. So the Cheneys, are worthy of a measure of some respect. In living lives governed by their principles, right? So the people at in the National Cathedral were a lot of people who have, there was a ton of never Trumper types, because the Trumper Republicans were not to be seen much. I guess Lindsey Graham was there and Barrasso was there, but very few. I mean, the president certainly was not there, nor the vice president, nor were they invited to be. But Rachel Maddow was there. Imagine that. And my bet is Rachel Maddow's presence was a result of her respect and appreciation of what Dick Cheney's daughter did at this fraught, perilous moment in our history. The courageous thing she did. That's my bet. And I don't know if she's spoken of it. Anyway, I was moved. Cheney's done a hell of a job with her kids. They were impressive. Truly impressive. So, I am so out of it when it comes to popular culture that I never heard of a guy named Jesse Wells. Have you heard of him? Because I guess it was Stephen Colbert had him on, but I didn't see that. But he was on Colbert's show, and he's a song writer, singer, balladeer, political, at least what I heard was political, sort of a la Bob Dylan kind of stuff, guitar and harmonica, and speaking to the political moment. And man, I really appreciated, he's a kid too, as far as I could tell, this young guy's work. And if you haven't seen it, the thing I saw was him doing a piece called, what the hell was it called? Join ICE. Join ICE. And, this comes at a time when we're seeing ICE, right? Videos of ICE that other Americans are taking and or on the news of their brutal brown shirt thug actions. And we're seeing also the department that they are employed by, the Department of Homeland Security, putting out ad campaigns to attract more people to become ICE agents. And it's clear that they're going after the worst of the worst. They're going after thugs. They're going after racists. This is what their recruitment is intended to attract. The guy who is the, I guess, head of like the press secretary, essentially, for Department of Homeland Security, said that if you join up, if you become an ICE agent, you will this is the quote, determine what our country looks like for decades to come. And if you look at the video and the kinds of graphics that are used, that what America will look like is pure white. There is not a non-white face to be seen. I mean, it is so racist, you cannot believe it. So this guy, Jesse Wells, look him up, has this song, Joy Nice. And I looked up the lyrics because I wanted to share some of them with you. This is the kind of protest stuff we need, and we need more of and more of and more of. And I know that there's many others, I suppose, doing it. But let me just share some of, just trying to sell this guy to you. Well, if you're looking for purpose in the current circus, if you're seeking respect and attention, if you're in need of a gig that'll make you feel big, come with me and put some folks in detention. Just last week was kind of tough. I put a kid in cuffs. I zip-tied a lady to a van. We can sneak around town, hunt working folks down. I hear they got a great benefit plan. Join ICE. Boy, ain't it nice. Join ICE. Take my advice. If you're lacking control and authority, come with me and hunt down minorities. Join ICE. It's much better with him singing and playing the guitar. When I failed the academy, the cops weren't having me. The Army didn't sound that fun. So I found me a paramilitary operation that was keen to hand me a gun. I got picked on at school. I never felt that cool. There's a hole in my soul that just rages. All the ladies turned me down, and I felt like a clown. But will you look at me now? I'm putting folks in cages. I mean, this so speaks to the pathetic sense of masculinity that these thugs carry. It speaks to the loserness that breeds their racism and their hate. So I think I think that's all the lyrics I have. Wow, strong stuff. Jesse Wells, Welles. I commend him to you. And, geez, do I even have time to get into Deluzio? And I don't think I do. I'll save that for tomorrow. I'm going to, I want to talk about this heartbreak of, I never even knew she existed. And now she's dying. And I suspect you know who I'm talking about. Tatiana Schlossberg. You know, who knew? I didn't realize that Carolyn Kennedy had 3 children. Her son, who we were talking about just a few weeks ago, who's going to run in a Democratic primary for Congress to replace Jerry Nadler. And Carolyn Kennedy also had 2 daughters. And I guess I wasn't aware of them. They've been low profile. They've kept, they've just been human beings. And those are the sole, when you think of the Kennedys, boy, it really is mind-blowing. The loss that they have had to endure. I'm not talking about them politically. I'm talking about them as human beings. And a lot of the loss in regard to, the boys in the family in service to the country. JFK's older brother, Joe, dying as a pilot in World War II, young man. JFK assassinated as president, young man. His younger brother Robert assassinated. It really is something. And then the narrowing the Kennedys down to just JFK and Jackie and their two little children. She suffered, I think, more than one miscarriage, right? And then she's left widowed with two little kids by her husband's assassination. Somehow manages to raise two seemingly whole, capable, productive kind of people. More so, I think, Carolyn than her brother. And then he gets killed in a plane crash. And Jackie dies young. And so all that's left is Carolyn and her husband, Schlossberg, and three grandchildren of JFK and Jackie, three grandchildren. And now one of them, Tatiana, is dying with two young, very young children. I think one is 3. And when I think of the pain that it's Carolyn Kennedy, it's almost like it's all that Kennedy family tragedy has like been, if you were to make a graph, it just comes at her like an arrow. And her daughter, her dying daughter, writing about this for The Atlantic, speaks, of course, of the pain of causing her mom any more pain in her life, any more loss. She buried her brother. She buried her mom. She watched as her